Hello friends, Christian here with BrickLifeCrisis. This channel is recommended for adult and teen fans of LEGO. If you are younger than the age of 13, you're welcome to watch, but first, get your parents' permission. Hello friends, Christian here with BrickLifeCrisis again. A little while ago I showed you a video where I introduced you to these two minifigures, which at the time were the only two from the Looney Tunes collection that I had, but I think that I now have the rest of them. If my field techniques were adequate, then I think I do. So let's go ahead and open up these figures and see if I'm right. Okay, this one I believe is Daffy Duck. So, let's check it out here. Hey, look at that, it's Daffy Duck. And this one, I believe, is Bugs Bunny. Lo and behold, Bugs Bunny. All right, this one, I believe, is Petunia Pig. And right again. This one, I believe, is Porky Pig. Yes, indeed. So I thought I had hit record, but I guess I did not. What I was saying was, this is the last figure that I found, not because it was difficult to feel, just because in the box that I came across, he happened to be one of the last figures that I came across. Anyway, this is Marvin the Martian, and he's a pretty nice figure. And this, I believe, is the female bunny, whose name I forget. She's from Space Jam, which I saw back in the 90s when it came out, but not since. Anyway, this is her, I think. Yeah. This one, I think, is the Roadrunner. Yeah. Okay, we're down to 3. This one, I think, is Sylvester the cat. Yeah. All right, just 2 left, so that leaves us with Tweety and Wile Coyote. This one is Tweety. And the last one, this should be Wile Coyote. There he is. This is Porky Pig, and he has this very important, very cool looking sign. Oh, that's all, folks. That is a printed 2x4 tile, and then this is Porky himself. The torso print is a little bit faded. It's not quite as opaque as it should be because it's a lighter shade than the rest of the skin tone on the head and the hands and the legs. But other than that, it's a decent design. It's just not quite as opaque as it should be. And on the back, you can see that as well. There's a little bit of a tail there on the back, the little curly Q thing. Unfortunately, you can see that little blue band. There's nothing really you can do about that, but that's just the bottom of the plastic that the paint didn't quite reach. This is a new custom head mold, of course. That has a decent printing job. It's an interesting thing. It's, there's no neck to it. It just kind of sits up there, and it's rather large compared to regular minifigure heads, but overall pretty good. A little bit of print to represent the hooves or the toes. Yeah, I really like the accessory for that, but that is Porky Pig. This is Porky's girlfriend, Petunia. She has a tea set. She includes the teapot and officially 1 teacup, but there is a second one included as a spare. She has a skirt and a decent torso, I guess, just a collar on that yellow shirt. Her head, like Porky's, has the kind of weird attachment there. Decent print quality and a nicely done, hair and pigtails. Get it? Pigtails. Well done figure. She has the adolescent bending legs and a little bit of print there for her hooves or toes as well. Not my favorite character in the Looney Tunes universe, but and this is the Tasmanian Devil, or Taz. This is my younger brother's favorite character. He has a pie and a turkey leg, which is kind of cool. Also, he has this kind of whirly dervish kind of a thing, and it is something you could spin around. It doesn't spin very well with the character on it. This is one we looked in a previous video, so I'll just go quickly over this one. A nice custom head sculpt with a really well done animated looking face and mouth and such. If we take the head off, it's just a plain brown torso, no print there. And he has a kind of a big fluffy tail. A really good looking figure. Something kind of that resonates with me, aside from this being my youngest brother's favorite character. When I was a kid, I remember my grandfather telling me, or telling us, that he used to work as an animator with Warner Brothers Studios. And I cannot remember honestly if he actually told me that he worked on this character specifically, or if that's something that I just made up in my head, because he used to be one of my favorite characters as well. And so when he said he worked on Looney Tunes, in my head he worked on Tasmanian Devil. I don't know if he actually did. I'm sure he did at some point, but I don't know if specifically he worked with Tasmanian Devil. But in my brain, my young adolescent brain at the time, this was the character that my grandfather worked on. And this is another one that was in that previous video, so we'll go over him quickly as well. This is Speedy Gonzales, and he has a couple of these printed cheese wedge pieces, which are really, really cool. And luckily it comes with a couple of spares too, so it's nice to have 4 of those. He has the younger adolescent legs that do not bend, and those are done up very nicely. Those are dual molded. He has a new tail piece, or it's new to me anyway. And then this custom head with the sombrero. It's a dual molded piece. Nicely printed face. Overall really cool, and I'm very happy to have 4 of those new cheese wedge prints. And here we have Marvin the Martian. He has a kind of unique helmet. It's a very unique helmet, actually. The head is pretty good with the nice exaggerated eyes. Looks really nice. Just a plain red torso. He's got some sneakers printed on his legs. Those are the bendable adolescent legs. He has a kind of a paper cloth or a cloth skirt and a lime green ray gun. But nicely done figure. Next up we have Sylvester the cat. This one's really nicely done. I like the head mold quite a bit. It's a kind of a regular minifigure neck. Whoops. That didn't work the way I wanted it to. So it's just a standard hole there, unlike the Porky and Petunia pigs. He has a baseball bat piece, which I think was used previously in the Simpsons line, if I remember correctly. But it's a really nice mold overall. It's got the tail and dual molded legs with some print there for the feet, paws. Yeah, nicely done figure. I like him quite a bit. And this is Daffy Duck. He has the sign that says Wabbit Season. The torso is fairly subtle, just a little bit of print there at the chest, dual molded legs to represent the webbed feet, and he does have a tail piece as well, and I think I put that on upside down. But anyway, nicely done Daffy Duck. This is my least favorite, and I think that seems to be the consensus, at least with those people that I've seen commenting online. He has this rather large mallet piece, which is fine. It reminds me of the mallet that we've seen with Harley Quinn before. It's a little odd to me that he has regular arms rather than bird arms like the Roadrunner, but okay, whatever. He has the non-bendable adolescent legs, just a little bit of print on the toe there to represent the little talons. The head mold is similar to Porky and Petunia in that it is this kind of unique neck piece that grips onto the post there. The head print is nice, but this figure is way too big. I think it would have been much better if they had made this into a small mold and included him as, or her, I'm not sure which. But if this figure was, like a small animal mold included with the Sylvester, I think that would have been better. A little suggestion of some tail feathers there. I like the little tuft of feathers on the top of the head. Not bad, just way out of scale, and so it doesn't quite work for me. This is the Roadrunner. This is another one that gets a lot of flack online. It doesn't bother me. I kind of like it, actually. I do appreciate that he has the wings for the arms. The one thing that gets a lot of flack is the legs, because they're not, super skinny. They're just regular minifigure legs. A little bit of detail there for talons on the feet. He has this bowl of bird seed. And then the headpiece is really nice. The neck is too short for the character, but I think it works out pretty well. And then we have this really nice new tail piece. Overall, I think the figure's good. I've seen some customizations with some customized legs that work fairly well. This is a regular minifigure head again. They could have made a longer neck, but I think that would have made the figure a bit more fragile. Oh, this tuft of feathers on top is a separate piece, incidentally, and that's very nicely done as well. So that is the Roadrunner. And then we have Roadrunner's nemesis, Wile Coyote. He includes this brick-built anvil, which is nicely done, and he's got some lighter fur on his chest and some claws on his back paws or his feet. He has the same tail piece that Taz had, and then a really nice head mold with the big ears and the long snout. This is Lola Bunny. She is a character from the Space Jam movies, which I saw the first Space Jam when it came out, but I don't really remember the character very well. But she's a well-produced figure. She has this basketball piece, and then she has a really nice print on the dual-molded legs, including on the side of the legs, which is really nice. Those kind of Chuck Taylor-looking shoes and the shorts. She's got a basketball kind of tank top and a nice custom mold for her head with the big ears coming down, almost looking like a ponytail. Nicely done. This is a regular minifigure neck that just attaches, so it's just a custom head. Works out really well. Nice face print and a decent character design overall. Again, I don't know much about her character, but this is Lola Bunny from Space Jam. And finally, of course, we have Bugs Bunny. Bugs Bunny includes the carrot, and there are a couple of the stem pieces. The character is quite nice. He has a decent print on the chest there with just some fur patches, and there's a bit of toe detail down there, and a printed tail. There's also a printed tail on Lola that I forgot to show you. Unfortunately, they printed the tails rather than giving them actual tails. I'm pretty sure that there is a tail that would have worked, like one of those pieces that you can put between the legs and torso, but maybe not because they didn't include it. But I thought I remembered a kind of a bunny tail from previous sets. But anyway, the head is pretty good sculpt, nice print on the eyes and mouth and whiskers, some subtle print in the ears to give it a little bit of a skin tone inside, but nicely done figure, and I'm very pleased to have a Bugs Bunny figure in my collection. The tells for this guy were the large head and most of all the big tile, and then you could also feel for the bar, I guess, but that could possibly be confused with the bar that comes with Daffy or Tweety or Sylvester. The tell for her was the head. The head has a kind of a unique shape with the two pigtails. You can also feel for the cup and saucer, or not cup and saucer, the cup and teapot, or the skirt. Those are all good tells for this one. The tell for him is the head, and even more importantly is this round piece, because he's the only one that comes with that, so that should help you find the Tasmanian devil. The tell for this guy, of course, is the big sombrero head. He's the only one that has anything like that. He also has the 4 cheese slope pieces, but the Wile Coyote has some of these cheese wedge pieces. The tell for him was the helmet. This is a dual molded piece with this, I don't know what you call it, but the kind of broom looking thing on top, the Roman style helmet. And that's a relatively large piece, and you can feel that in the bag. For Sylvester, the tell was the baseball bat. The head was actually a little bit tough for me to discern, and I wasn't sure about the tail, but the baseball bat piece, and the trick of it is, first of all, it's a little bit thicker than the handles on the mallet and the signs that come with the other figures, but there is, on the handle here, there's just a little bit of an indent right there, and so if you can feel that, then you know you have Sylvester. That is one of those sign pieces with the clip on the one end, so that's something to feel for. The other big thing to feel for is his head, of course, which has a nice big wide bill. For me, the tell here was the round bricks. There are 3 2x2 round bricks. The head is not unique enough. It's too similar to Porky Pig and even Petunia Pig, although Petunia has those pigtails as well. But the head shape is very similar to the pig figures, and so for me, the big tell was these round bricks. The tell for this one, there were a couple actually. One was the tail, although it's very thin, so it might be a little bit tough to feel. If you can feel it, though, it's much longer than any of the other tails, and that might be one way. Otherwise, the bowl and the bird seed, both of those pieces are tells. And then, of course, the torso has wings rather than arms, so that might help you also. The long snout part of the head is the tell, as far as I'm concerned. The ears might be confused with Bugs Bunny just because of their length and general shape, although these have a bit more forward curvature at the top. But the tell is the snout, I think. The tell for her, of course, was her head with the flowing ponytail. You can also feel for the basketball, but it's a little bit of a smaller piece, so the head is a better giveaway. But the big tell for him, of course, is his head with the big bunny ears. So that'll wrap it up for today. This has been Christian with BrickLifeCrisis. We hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, please leave us a like. If you have any questions or comments, feel free to leave those below. And as always, thanks so much for watching. Until next time, that's all, folks.